Okay, people. So I am joined today by director, writer Rodrigue Huart. Is that did I butcher your
Rodrigue
name?
Huart in English, maybe.
Yacht.
Yeah,
Ah, okay. Okay. Sorry, man. I'm very bad with
normal, pretty
pronunciations.
normal.
But yes, you have the world premiere of your short film. Now, again, like Transylvanie.
Transylvanie, it's like Transylvania translated to French.
Oh,
Like
okay.
basically the
Right.
same, but in French it's just Transylvanie.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. That makes because I wasn't quite sure if it was a play on Transylvania, but with the girl's name, So I was like,
yeah,
oh,
no,
is
it's
it, but right, no, it's just Transylvania in
the
French.
French way.
Okay. So yeah, you've got your short just dropping. This is is this your first short film?
I shot a first one last year, but it was self-produced and it will be released like next year. So it's not the first I shot, but it's the first I release.
Okay. Right. Because yeah, you've done a couple of documentaries on a gang of music videos.
Yeah,
So yeah, which is always, I mean, a load of big directors have come from the music scene and adverts and things like that. But yeah, what was it that because the other things were documentaries. So why did you want to jump into fiction?
yeah. Well, to be fair, I started filming because I was a musician and I needed some videos for my band when I was in high school. So I started shooting videos, like basically just to accompany the music. And then I started to do it for others, and step by step I started doing music videos for bigger artists. And then I kind of wanted to make to tell stories basically, and the quickest way to do it was to film musicians I knew or I met. So that's how I started shooting documentaries. The same way with music video, I started like with the self-produced one. Then I got produced, and then I wanted to write my own story. I've always loved cinema and horror films in general, so I
Hmm.
wanted to start really writing my own stories, and I felt comfortable at that time because I was confident in my directing skills that I learned on all the shootings of music videos, documentaries. So I felt ready to dive into the fiction work.
Okay. Ah, so where did the idea of this one come from?
It's kind of a combination. I've always been fascinated with vampire stories since I am a child, and it has been a long time since I was wondering about and searching for new ways to explore this lore that has been explored a lot,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find a singular way and something original to say about it. And it was a combination of two things. Actually, a novel from Matheson, Richard Matheson, the famous
Oh,
writer.
yeah.
He wrote a really small one about a child, like he's like 5, 7, and in the story he kills himself to prove that he's the son of Dracula. So it's kind of the same pitch, but it was really really different from Transylvania. But that made me realize that it would be interesting to work with a character who thinks she's a vampire, but the viewer doesn't know it, and to play with how it makes the viewer uncomfortable. And maybe the other influence would be Martin from George Romero, which is a film I absolutely love. because it's you follow a teenager who's supposed to be a vampire, but you are not sure. And it's
Mm.
is doing really really nasty and disturbing stuff. I don't want to spoil, but watch the movie; it's just great. And what I love about this movie is that it's not only speaking about the vampire lore; it's mostly speaking about a teenager who doesn't fit and feels rejected. And it's really a nasty and disturbing film, but also really emotional. And that's what I wanted to do with Transylvanie, is to make the viewer feel the loneliness of Eva. And
Well, I'll definitely say, right, that you were able to convey a lot with this because the screener didn't have subtitles. so so I was just like, yo, what's maybe they're gonna kick into English in a minute. Okay, they're not. They're not. Okay, let's see. Let's go with it. Let's see.
no,
It's only 15 minutes. It was able to work it. But I think not knowing what they're actually saying, you pay attention to like tone of voice and body language and everything like that. So just from that, you were able to get that she's kind of ostracized from the group, right? That she's longing to be a part of something, but she can't get there. And then it's just watching the facial expressions, and you can see, like, when she's speaking to Hugo, yeah, like there was like a happiness and a joy in her face that isn't always there.
yeah,
And so all of
she's in
these
love.
things
So.
come out. So I honestly did enjoy this show. You know, like, and that's I have no clue what was getting said, but just from
That's
the
crazy.
story that I kind of was able to view, I enjoy, and the end. God damn. Like, not
Cheers.
that, like, because yeah, it's difficult because you don't want to say too much and spoil. But I will say the way you play with the camera at the end, and we just see the facial expressions, and it's just like it's that look where it's just like, I don't know what to, am I scared? Am I excited? Like, what the fuck right now? And the
Yeah. Thank
way,
you
like,
very
you
much.
just see the little curl in the mouth, and you know what I mean? The way you isolated that, that was so great. That was so great. It really brought that tension at the end, because we go from like the thing and then the other expression and then that, and you're just like, this can't end now. What the fuck? I need to know more. I need to know what happens now. What? Rodrigo, what are we doing?
Thank you very much. It's really nice to hear.
No. It was just, yeah. I think you got some great actors, because again, you know, I think there's a lot of things, right? I think we see it. There's so much content out there, right? Films, TV shows, and there's a lot of times when we're told that these people are the new stars, right? These people are the actors and actresses we should be paying attention to. But sometimes you look at the performance and you're just like, I mean, it's fine. But then you watch a show, right? Or an indie film, and you see these incredible performances, these of people you've never heard of, but they just kill it. And I think it's a testament for when you don't know what they're saying, but the expression and the body language gives you most of that information. So it's just like, yeah, you got yourself a really great cast. How did the casting come about, man?
Well, for the first role, we've seen maybe 50 little girls. We were more into, I worked with a professional casting director. And for this role, we wanted someone maybe with a bit of experience to to tackle the movie. And
Mm.
then for all the second parts, the minor roles for Hugo, Emma, it was all kids from high school from where we shot in Rennes, in Brittany.
Ah.
And actually, the main thing with the role of Eva, the first role, played by Katel Varva, was to find we would have to shoot with a girl who is 12, and I wanted the character to sound and to look younger.
Yeah.
So the first thing we did with the casting was made them read some parts of the classic Dracula and to hear how it sounded. So
Mm.
and like, to be fair, Katel Varva was, it was like, I was pretty sure it was her the first time I saw her. Like, she's really, really intense, and she's very smart. So I could feel that she could understand everything about the story straight away, and she also really loved the vampire lore, and I could feel that she was having so much fun imagining herself playing that role. So
I hope it's just as long as you didn't put any ideas in her head. That's the only thing, man.
no, really, she was really having fun. So going from there, it was easy to ask her to go far, to like to really have faces that you couldn't like. I wanted an actor to a character that feels young, so you can always be between pure horror and just be feeling empathy for a little girl, because you you always feel like the little girl is telling something. She can't be really bad. You want to be on her side. So yeah,
Mm.
and Catel can go from really a cute little girl to a really intense and dark face and look. So yeah, she's great. The film relies on her like 100%.
Yeah. No, she really gave a fantastic performance there. Like, what, the fact that she's into vampire lore, that must be helpful. But is there anything that you gave the cast to help them get into the right mindset, or like books, or films, like Dracula, Interview with a Vampire? Did you give them copies of Blade to read and watch? Like, what, like, yeah, how do you get your cast into the characters? Like, is it those reference points, music, or just sit down and have conversations with them?
It was more rehearsals, to be fair, because I couldn't give Catel horror films to watch because she's too young, and I watched
There is
too
that, yeah.
cool stuff. So it was more, we rehearsed a lot, especially for the big scene in the middle where she's going to see Hugo, because it's like maybe 5 minute, 6 minute dialogues, so it has to be really sharp and tight.
Mm.
And so we rehearsed a lot, and it was just going from rehearsal to rehearsal to rewrite with them. We wrote a lot of dialogues with them, because I'm not as young as I was, so I don't really know how every kids are speaking, and that's the
Mm.
thing. It's not your language, and you didn't have subtitles, so you can't feel it. But I'm sure you see English speaking films where you can feel that it's an adult trying to write
Oh,
a
yeah,
kid
for
good,
sure.
and
Yeah,
that's
there's
so hard.
yeah, I think it's always one of the biggest problems sometimes when you watch things, and it's the interaction between characters, and you're just like, people don't talk like that. Like, what the fuck are we? What are we doing? This is insane. No one, and I always find it funny, like for an example, right? I There was this comic book series called Secret Wars, that Civil War 2. They had the Civil War 2. And in it, people, like, sometimes the characters be like, "Hey, what do you think about this second secret civil war we're in?" And I'm like, why would they be? No one would be saying we're in a civil. They'd just be like, "Yo, this shit is fucked up, man. This is crazy. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to fight our friend." Like, but you're not using certain words all the time, and so like you have that, or it's just people talking to each other way too formally or too casually, or just it doesn't feel right. So I think it's a very good thing that you worked with them and rewrote those scenes,
But
because
to
I
be
think
fair, we mostly rewrote with the teenagers because with Catel, who's playing Eva, uh, the main thing was that she feels she's a vampire, so she feels like she's 1,000 years old.
mm,
So in her head, she's an adult.
yes.
So she tried to behave as an adult, and that's why the other ones are making fun of her. So that was the main dynamic we would try to get in rehearsals. So a kid trying to be an adult, and teenagers making fun of her for that. That was the main dynamic, and from
Mm.
there, and then it explodes.
No, yeah, I see that. I see that. Like, did, like, other than those kind of, changing some of the language in those scenes, was there anything else that changed while you're filming? Did you, the end or anything like that?
Not the ending. We had to cut some scenes, like usually when you are shooting an indie films and you don't have time to shoot everything and you have to make like choices. But the main thing, and it's a big one, is that we were like the my script was all happening during the night,
Right.
and then starting prepping with Julien Ramirez Hernan, my DOP. We were like, if we have to light everything by night, we just won't be able to shoot it. So
Mm,
I went back home and was wanted to cry, and then I thought it's even better if it's during the day because it's even weirder that she thinks that she's a vampire and she's walking by daylight. It's just
mm.
come on. So we went from there, and when we rewrite it to happen from morning to night, evening, and that gave, I think, a good structure to the film. And I really don't regret that choice. I think it gives something more to the film. So I've always been. There's a quote from James Gray that stuck with me. He was speaking about Little Odessa, his first thriller film with Tim Roth, that was supposed to be like a summer film, but they had to shoot it during winter, and then he still wanted to make it a summer movie, even though they were shooting winter. But it's starting snowing like real hard, so he just embraced it, and the film is incredible with that atmosphere with the snow. It makes, like, I think that elevate the film.
Yeah.
So I've always said to myself, if I have a chance to shoot a film one day, I'll have to embrace the unknown and make it ours and try to use it.
Yeah, I think that's always a good mindset to have, because you can plan as much as you want, but there's always these things that just crop up,
Yeah,
and it's just like you can let it cripple you, or you can just adapt.
yeah,
And yeah, those adaptations sometimes are the things that take something from good to great. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's a good skill to have. And you know what? Like, at no point was I watching it thinking, this should be a night. Like, huh? this doesn't make any sense. No, because I think it's because it's a little kid,
Yeah.
right? It's a little kid, so you're like, none of it should technically make sense until it makes sense, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, no, I was like, okay, yeah, but I think, are you gonna make more? Like,
Yeah.
is this a one and done of this story, or is there more chapters to be told?
Not of this story in particular, but I have a feature film project in which I want to work again with Catel, playing also a disturbed kid, but it would be more around the lore of creepypastas to make it more contemporary. So the idea is to use the creepypasta lore to dive into, to make the girl dive into it and go crazy from there. So, but it would be kind of an extension of Transylvanie for sure. That's the idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Like, what is it about, the vampire lore that you kind of resonated with, you enjoyed, that made you want to tell this story?
Like the vampire, it's pretty classic. I don't know. Maybe I remember my father showing me like some Christopher Lee really classic
Mm.
stuff and playing around, going like, and I don't know. I've always like when we were going on a trip with my parents, I always asked my father to go like to the torture museum or to the most macabre thing we could find in town. So I've always had it like this weird need to see and hear some weird and creepy stories. And I don't know. I was young when Blade came out, so it has been a huge shock for me at this time to see a new way of using and exploring the vampire lore. So I've always watched vampire movies, trying to find new ways, and it's always fun to see how a director tackled this lore because you can do pretty much anything with it. So I
Yeah.
always wanted to do my vampire movie. So my first movie is done. It's a vampire movie, so I can move on.
I think that's the kind of great thing about it, right? Because there's been so many different versions of the Dracula story told, but then also these other vampire stories, and they just do so many different things. I just remember that first time watching Blade, and you just got the music and everyone's just dancing, and you'd be like, what's, and then the sprinklers and the blood cut, and you're like, yo, fuck. And then Blade comes in and you're just like, oh my god, this film is fucking great. And yeah, Blade was awesome, and it just seems so different to a lot of the other vampire films, but then we've got things like Alone in the Dark, or is it 30, or is it 30 Days of Night? I forget.
Great,
But
great
then
movie.
one of the, so good.
Yeah,
Just
so
so
tense, so rough. I love it.
Yeah, like Interview with the Vampire, I thought was really good. I know, like I think the TV series is meant to be going really well, but I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, there's just so many, and people love Twilight, it seemed. But I mean, I
Maybe
can
one
go
thing.
without the teen angst stuff.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah, it's great, and I'm looking forward to Marvel's Blade when that comes.
Is it on?
Yeah, no, they've got a director that, Marasha Ali is playing Blade.
All right.
Yeah, so it's
They are
just,
coming back without Wesley.
I don't think he's involved. I don't think he's involved.
Played without Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, he would be too old for the
Yeah.
role now, but I think you
He
could
can be
have
the mentor.
yeah, you could have him in there as a Whistler type character.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. But who knows? Because I think the film was meant to start filming later this year, but obviously with
Okay.
all the strikes and everything, that's
Yeah.
probably not going to happen unless things get wrapped up real quick. So yeah, I don't know, but it will be. Yeah, we're getting a new Blade film. I just know that, so
I'll
that's
watch it.
exciting. Yeah, for sure, for sure. When you like you told your peoples that you got a vampire story, what were they thinking?
For my girlfriend, it was pretty standard because I always tell her the sickest stories that I have in mind. So she was just happy. Maybe I remember that I offered her like three vampire stories at the really early stage, and she chose that one, and I went for it because that's my first. She's my first reader, and I have a lot of confidence in her opinion. So that was the first I was talking about the movie. I don't know. My parents have always been like, "Can't you write a comedy and stop watching sick movies and write sick movies?" But that was their reaction.
Oh dear, dear, dear. Hey, no, I think your girlfriend chose wisely, man. Yeah, I
Jeez.
think she picked a good film. Uh, but like, do you feel that after doing this, so from doing the music videos, the documentaries, and now you've got into like this form of storytelling, like, is this something you want to explore more of? That you feel?
For sure. Like I'm not shooting music video for maybe 2 years now. I've been working with the music industry for almost 10 years, and it was intense. It was great, but it's really consuming. Like it's a lot of shoots for not a lot of money, a lot of pressure. They always want the videos to be shoot and edited real fast, and like working on fiction work, it's just like I've been writing this film for 3 years maybe because we had a trouble finance it
Right.
and to prep, and it's another rhythm where you can dive into details, you can, and like it's my baby, no question. Like it's my baby with all the team, of course, because we did the movie together. But it's really personal, and it's what I want to do now.
Mm,
So my main focus is to write stories and find producers to shoot it now. That's the that's the goal
okay.
for sure. And
Nice.
but I always love music, go to a lot of concerts, keep on being really open to what's new, even more in the rock and roll area because that's my main thing. So
Okay.
I'm really open to shoot other music documentaries. Actually, I'm my first documentary was called "Is It Punk Music," which is about a London-based band. I've been shooting it like 8 years ago now. It has been released. It's like a 50 minutes movie that is actually free online. You can find it on my Vimeo. And I started shooting again the band during the COVID, so remotely, keeping the discussion because the movie was really about it's a two-piece band, a two-piece punk band called Castles, and they are two brothers.
Hmm.
So when I started shooting the documentary, they were like 17 and 21. So it was they are coming from the countryside around Oxford. So the film was basically about two brothers coming to the city to start their adult life and having a band on the side, maybe you could
Yeah.
say. But their band got serious and serious and serious. They still have to work, but they are doing like European tour now. So I went back to them and said like I'm interested in keep on shooting, like, and the idea is to shoot them like for 10 to 15 days each 5 years now. So
Mm.
I've got almost 10 years of coverage now. So the idea is to go, I don't know, maybe for 20 years about it. So that's one of my really long run projects. So
No, that I think that would be great.
still shooting musicians, still working with musicians, and actually the music from Transylvanie is made by the Psychotic Monks, which is a insane rock band from France. Really, I mean it, and they are touring all over the world now. So I'm so honored that they accepted to work on the movie, and I think everybody knows that for horror film, music is really really important, and
Mm.
I'm very happy with it.
No, I thought, well, when I saw that name, I was just like, that's such a great name for a band. That's a great name. But it was like when the film opened up and we're kind of outside and you can just hear Era talking,
Yeah.
and you just got that pulsing kind of music playing. I was just like, oh, what the fuck is happening here? Right? Is it, like, even though I could understand what was being said, it felt sinister. It felt like if some, like, it was either like a declaration of like darkness or a
Yeah.
plague. You know what I mean? It felt like something crazy was happening. So that it just felt, oh, that's great music to be playing, man. That, yeah, no, I thought the music worked very well with the film.
Cheers.
Mm, mm.
Thanks for the Psychotic Monks.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to take a look into them. Like, who else are you listening to right now? Is there anyone that you're like, oh, that's
Yeah, I recently discovered another London-based band who is called Bad Nerves. They are so cool. It's just like really energetic and fast-paced pop punk songs. Love it.
okay, okay. Like any other genres that you check out?
I like also pretty hard techno music. So I don't know. A French DJ who is pretty hot right now is Antigone, who I love also. Really long tracks and really in which you dive into. Really industrial. Love it. I like it when it's I like more in cinema also when it's radical, when you have something, a strong way of doing things, a strong sound, or
Mm,
you hear
yeah.
yeah, something singular. Like I love also, of course, in cinema I love Gaspar Noé, I like Lars von Trier, I like Haneke, I like Lantimos. I like people who go far. So in music it's kind of the same thing.
Mm, mm. Cool. No. So, and yeah, music is, man, it does so much, right? It does so much. And I think it's just like finding the right music to accompany something is, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Like, were there other people you looked at other than the psychedelic monks, or
For the music, they are the first I asked, so it was so great that they say yes. But so I didn't had the chance to watch for others. But also maybe in films, one of the OST that was for me the strongest in years was the one for Good Times, A Good Time from the Safdie brothers with Robert Pattinson. Like
oh,
I remember going out of the theater, like my heart was going, like I was physically hit by the film. And I remember like the music does so much, like the acting and the filming and the directing is crazy in this film. but the music is so intense. Man, I
Mm.
still remember. I didn't see the movie for a second time because I feel it's a really tense movie and it's sort of a hard watch. But I will go back at it. But it's I know it's One O Tricks Point Never who did the music, and it's a music that I listen to a lot when I'm writing. Sometimes his albums or his OST. It yeah, you can it I go in a strange place when I listen to this music, and it's good for writing.
Ah, no, that's cool. I remember there was a film, gosh, when was it? It was 22, I think it was. Um, it's a cowboy film, The Harder They Fall. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yo, the music for that film was so good. So good. It was, and it was, there's a thing I hate is when you have a scene and then they playing like all this sad music and it's just like you're sad now, and I'm just like, let the scene tell me that, right? Let me the performances, you know what I mean, inform me on the emotion of what's going on. I don't need the music, you know, because it always feels heavy handed. So I like a film where the music isn't like a hammer.
Yeah.
It's like another actor. It's another just this fluid component that fits perfectly with what you're watching. And I just thought that yeah, the music for Harder They Fall was just like, yo, it's perfect. Works so well.
But it's funny that you are talking about the music maybe as a character, but like another layer to the cake. Like
Mm,
like the psychotic monks, we worked that way. Like they read the scripts, we talked about what I love, what I wanted to do. I want to have a combination between really maybe classical gothic themes and something really more modern in the approach, and more maybe concrete music, noise, and mix it together. And so they sent me like maybe 40 minutes of music, like with like four strong themes and some impros. And in there, they played with whisperings, going in loop pedals and stuff like that. When I heard it, I was like, "That's perfect. That's the voices from the darkness that are speaking to Eva." So it's really discreet in the film, but often you can hear some textures like this, like,
mm,
and those are the voices that Eva could hear, but it's never said. Like she's never saying like I hear voices or stuff, but it's just in the music, like a tiny idea, just, but it feels organic. You don't have to
yeah.
say it or
No, I think that's how it should be a lot of the times, and especially with something like this, because you're walking that line, right? Of, is this a fantasy? Is this reality? What's actually going on? So you want something where it's just like, wait, I swear I just heard something. Is that in her head, or is that like, what is happening, right? And you want the viewer just to be constantly questioning,
yeah.
so then the impact is greater when you actually get realization of what's might be going on.
Thank you for being spoiler free. You are really agile.
Hey, no, yeah, no, because I was, yeah, I think I enjoyed it so much. Like, you want other people to be able to get that same experience, so you
Yeah.
don't want to have these sorts of conversations and be like, oh yeah, at the end, you know, when they go and pick the oranges, and then everyone's like, oh, oranges, and you're like, oh shit, there's oranges in the film. God damn it. Yeah. No. Yeah, I want everyone to have that great experience. So yeah, trying to, you know what I mean, avoid all the problematic bits. So like, because you're having your world premiere at Fantasia, so like, why Fantasia?
They are the first to take the movie, but we started to send the movie to festivals like just some weeks ago, and Fantasia has been the first to respond. And like Mitch Davis, the artistic director, sent me some really really nice words about the movie. And to be fair, Fantasia is a festival that I follow for years. Like I follow the programming for years. So when I heard that it would be the world premiere, I was just so happy. And
Mm.
having Mitch Davis saying all these really gentle things about the film is like really means a lot to show the movie there for the first time.
Oh man, I can imagine, because yeah, you're part of the oh god, what's it called now? Uh,
Small Ghost Trauma.
yes, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, that, I mean, that's pretty cool. You're good, you know, it's be playing as part of like 9 other films in
Yeah,
this kind of, you know, fun little block
yeah.
on the 2nd of
I know
August.
there's another French movie, so maybe two French movies in there. We are coming, guys.
Oh man. So have you got any other dates yet for other festivals? And
Yeah, we will be at the European Short Film Festival in Brest in November. We will be, and I'm really happy with that one. We will be at Court Métrange in Rennes in September, which is a fantastic horror short film festival, which is really cool. So I'm happy to show it there, and I'm even more happy because that's where we shot the movie. So all the actors from high school who are there will be able to come and show the movie to all their friends, and it will be a great moment, I guess.
oh man, that's gonna be great for
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? If you're trying to, you know what I mean, get a date with someone, be like, I mean, we could go see the film I'm in, and be like,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Not wrong. And I also love watching horror films in like in packed theaters with teenagers, like when it's a bit um, noisy and everybody's eating something and laughing and talking a bit. I don't like it for every movies, but like for all films, I love it. So
Mm,
maybe to have this kind of atmosphere with actors and other friends would be so much fun. And
yeah.
hopefully, the room will be silent for the 5 last minutes because they won't be able to breathe. But I hope.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that's oh man, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So like, yeah, people, wherever you are, hopefully you'll get an opportunity to see Transylvanie. And yeah, when do you think you'll start work on your next project, right?
I'm writing, so I'm starting working with producers on a revenge movie set up in a really tiny town in the punk rock scene. So rock and roll and music isn't very far. And I'm starting to write also the film I was talking about before, more in the continuity of Transylvanie, with a girl getting crazy about creepy pastas.
Mm.
So
Mm.
those are the main focus at the moment. And yeah, hopefully I will be able to shoot like in, I don't know, maybe 2 years if everything goes well.
Okay.
Finger
Awesome.
crossed.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward
Yes,
to it. And when you're ready to talk about them, hopefully you will stop by the pod, man, and we can have another conversation.
it's been a pleasure.
Ah, splendid, splendid. Well, thank you very much for your time, man. Really appreciate it. And yeah, congrats on the film. And I hope you have a fantastic premiere on the 2nd of August.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, man. You take care.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.